All right, folks, this is Lonzo, the godfather of West Coast hip hop. And today I'm a reporter for the Compton Chronicles and also a supporter of the upcoming event at Cal State Dominguez Hills, the second annual prostate cancer walk and run. It's going down September 17th, Cal State Dominguez Hills. And today we have two gentlemen. One is only one on the screen. There he is, who is involved in this event. I'll be doing this in conjunction with my man, Cedric Hicks. How you doing there, Cedric?
I'm doing okay, Alonzo. How you doing over there?
Good. City Councilman for the city of Carson. And the other gentleman is Dr. How you pronounce your first name?
Faisal.
Faisal Ahmed. He is a specialist in prostate maintenance. Let's put it that way. Okay. Prostate maintenance. He's a surgeon. He's also an oncologist for prostate cancer. I'm a prostate cancer survivor, first and foremost. That's why I do this event. And as I was doing I made a deal with God, and they give you a bunch of books. But they gave me a bunch of books. I had mine about 10 years ago. All the different stages you go through mentally, emotionally, whatever. And one was denial, and I did that. I finally got to acceptance. And I became an advocate for prostate cancer. I didn't realize how ignorant men were to prostate cancer. And I always say, these two fingers, where they go? These two fingers scare men to no end. Could you tell us how are those two fingers still important in this day and age when it comes to detecting prostate cancer?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me, Lonzo. And it's an honor to be with you.
Thank you. I'm glad to have you.
First thing, let me say, if someone's using two fingers on you, go find another doctor. They should only be using one.
Okay.
They should only be using one.
All right.
Now, is it important? It's what we call the dreaded digital rectal exam. Yes, it's important, but it is not the whole kit caboodle. The PSA blood test is probably more important than a finger in the butt once a year. Okay. So you want to go see your urologist, number one.
Okay.
But you don't have to be scared that they're going to get the finger or fingers in there, because it's not always necessary to screen for prostate cancer.
How young would you recommend a man is when they start getting checked for prostate cancer?
So long story short, in your 40s, you should start. Now, and I know you know this being a survivor, African-American men are at higher risk. Incidence rates are higher. They tend to get higher rates of prostate cancer and aggressive rates of prostate cancer. So if you have a family history, if you have a father or a brother with prostate cancer, you should start getting checked out 10 years before they were diagnosed. But you should start at 40 at baseline. But if your granddad got diagnosed at 60, then you should probably start getting checked out at the latest at 50 years old. But if you have any family history, you need to be checked out once a year, starting from your mid-40s onwards.
Is there any specific reason why we are more susceptible and have the higher rate and the more aggressive? Is there a justification for that, or what?
It's crazy. I'd be lying to you if I told you I knew the answer, but they've done studies where Africans in Africa don't have the same rates as African-American men in America. And this goes for the Caribbean also. So it's a very weird situation why it's so different in kind of the quote-unquote developed world. The rates of prostate cancer are higher in African-American men and also Caribbean American men. But I'm not sure the answer is there. But I can tell you diet probably plays a huge role, and lifestyle probably plays a huge role. So, back in Africa, I mean, it's different now, but, the people are not eating the same way we're eating here.
Right.
And they're a lot more active than we are here. So that probably plays a role. I don't know how measurable it is, but I think that may be one of the explanations for the differences there.
Okay. Cedric, you're not a prostate cancer survivor, but you support this event every year. And I got to ask you why.
I'm not a prostate cancer survivor, but I've had problems with my prostate. I've had prostatitis. I've been on different medications. And, as you get a certain age, your prostate enlarges automatically. So most men have some type of symptoms or problems, but they don't know what it's caused by. So these are things that I'm real passionate about. But what really has catapulted me to be really involved with this, I've had too many close friends of mine who have passed away from prostate cancer. In addition to that, I have a brother-in-law who recently was diagnosed at stage 4 prostate cancer. So again, it's hitting home, it's hitting in the family, and even with my own challenges. And just as you get a certain age, as the doctor said, when you hit 40, you start going to the bathroom more frequently at night. These are things that start happening to you. It's just, for me, and I don't think there's been anyone out there really doing a crusade. And when we met Alonzo, it was just an act of God, because I kept trying to figure out a way to catapult this. In the past, I've always been a spokesperson for the American Cancer Society on prostate cancer, and I was the only male on the board of directors.
Wow.
And one of the key areas that they were trying to address was looking at men of color. They were also targeting Samoan population, because there seems to be no one addressing the Samoan population, and then also African American men and men of color. So it's come full circle for me, and to have Dr. Ahmed on here, who's from Providence, to be a part of this, it really gives me greater hope that we can eradicate this disease and that we can get education out to the community about prostate cancer.
Now you're now on the same thing, Doc. I'm in the hip hop. I'm a hip hop veteran, and I know a lot of people. A lot of my counterparts are right behind me, and I would be doing them an injustice if I did not tell them about some of the pitfalls of getting older. Okay, and prostate cancer is one of those things. I found out I went to the eye doctor to get some new glasses. I even have a touch of a cataract. So I'm like, come on, man, this getting the old thing is getting ridiculous. But hey, man, thank God we're able to do it, be able to share this information. Dr. Ahmed, what is the significant difference between stage 1, 2, 3, and 4 when you have prostate cancer?
Right. So, those are general staging. And I'm sorry to hear about your brother-in-law there, Cedric, but the stage, you kind of put it simply, and this is for any cancer. If it's stage 1, it usually is inside the organ of question. It has not moved outside.
Okay.
Stage 2 tends to be a little bit more aggressive, maybe locally or just, in the neighborhood of surrounding tissues. And then stage 3 and stage 4 is when you start getting distant spread, meaning the cancer has gotten out of the original organ, is now going into distant places. So in prostate specifically, it's oftentimes into the bone or into distant lymph nodes or other parts of the body.
Okay. What? I know the answer, but I got to ask a dumb question for those who don't know. What does the prostate do?
No, it's a great question. You got to start there. And
okay.
The prostate, it's a sexual organ. It produces and stores semen. That's it. And then, as Cedric already alluded to, as we get older as men, it just gets in the way because we're peeing right through the middle of it. Our female colleagues don't have prostates, but they have their own urinary issues as they get older. But they're not peeing through a donut hole that keeps getting smaller and smaller as we get older. That's our cross to bear as men as we get older. And then on top of that, it can develop cancer too. So that's, really what the prostate does. But if you're done having kids and your sex life is, dwindling as we all get older as men, really it's just going to affect how you pee and kind of start problems with the plumbing, so to speak.
Okay. My doctor, I had the Da Vinci robot nerve sparing operation. I got 3 little scars on my stomach, and I've seen guys that had prostate operations before me, and they had a zipper. Okay.
Oh yeah.
And when I went through it, I was, like most men, I was concerned about my downtime. Okay, downtime meaning no erection. Okay, that's a lot. Right. Most men fear they won't come back after a prostate situation. And my doctor, he had me laughing. He said, "Well, Mr. Williams, your prostate, we got all the cancer out. We removed your prostate. You saved your nerves, and your therapy now. Your job is next. You have to go to therapy. What therapy? What do you do for therapy?" He said, he gave me a prescription for Cialis. He said, "Get all the sex you can, okay?" And he said, "If you don't use it, you'll lose it." And I'm like, "Okay, here I am, 12 years later. I'm still in therapy right now." How important is therapy after you have an operation? Hey, doc, I love my therapist. Anyway, how do you? Is that the same thing you would say today?
Yeah, and a lot of it I can tell you this: after robotic surgery, which is the way we're doing almost all prostates now in this country, your nerves are at risk. Not everyone can get their nerves saved. So that's one thing going into surgery. It's the quality of the surgeon, but it's also the quality of your cancer. Sometimes the cancer is invading the nerves and you can't save both of the nerves. But I always tell my patients, listen, you go into the surgery, you ain't getting better after prostate cancer surgery, right? You ain't going to become some young stud afterward.
Right.
It's only going to get worse or stay the same at best. So yeah, your doc's right. If the nerves are saved, then it's time to go to work. You take that Cialis once a day. It might take a year, it might take 18 months, but you will regain some function. You're not going to be as good as you were when you were 25 years old, but I think most people know that coming into it. But you have to be mindful, and you have to like prepare patients with adequate expectations that, hey, this is like 6 weeks of recovery. I'm going to be normal again. Not so much. It's going to take time.
Not so much.
Yeah, I can say some stories. I ain't gonna say them on this podcast right here, but we'll talk about that offline. Go ahead, Cedric.
But there's a question that some of my family members have asked, and some friends of mine as well. Okay, the downtime and you're going through the Cialis or you're doing the Viagra pills, are there any other kind of counseling sessions? Or, I mean, I know you're going through therapy, you said, Alonzo, but some point in time, if it does not come back, I mean, people do have issues when that doesn't happen, because that's important.
Oh, yeah.
To continue
yeah, sorry. So we usually recommend giving it 12 to 18 months after the date of your surgery. So it's a long time. So you got to be prepared. You got to prepare the spouse, the girlfriend, whatever it may be. So everyone's on the same page that this is not going to be an overnight recovery. And if the medicine doesn't work and if things are still struggling, there are other therapies we can offer to help regain erections and kind of return to a normal sex life. There are several other options, including injections and other medications and pumps and surgical implants even. So there are ways to get back into the saddle, so to speak. It's not so easy for everyone. Alonzo's, the poster child for this. He's back on track, but like he said, his therapy still continues, right? Yes. It's always a process. You got to keep working at it.
What can we do to prevent it? What can we do to prevent getting prostate cancer? What's out there?
So really, it's the stuff our mamas told us when we were babies. Eat your veggies and exercise. Honestly, it's no more complicated than that, because a lot of it's genetics and we can't change our genes. What our dads and our forefathers gave to us is what we got. So if you are at high risk due to family history, you just have to be prepared and find a good urologist and be on top of it with your screening. But to prevent it beyond that, we just don't know enough about the disease. And it's not going to be as simple as take this pill or don't eat this, food. It's got to be generally healthier men with healthier diets have lower rates of prostate cancer. That is just 100% true across the board, whether you're black, white, Asian, doesn't matter. You got to take care of your body, and it should take care of your prostate.
Yeah, I was blessed. My downtime was about 8 months, and it was unexpected, but it was well received. It was unexpected, but it was well received, and I thank God for it. And I think that's important, because I've experienced a lot of stories that did not have a happy ending because people waited too long, and that is pretty much what we're here for today, is make people aware of it and go get checked. So if you do have it, because the odds are against you, or the odds of which you having it, if you go get checked early enough, you can save yourself, save your life and your sex life. Doc, keep going, because I'm just
I got a question for you. You said 8 months. You said 8 months of downtime.
I think I had about 8 months downtime. Okay. And I was, but you know what got me through? And this is why I do what I do, because I was depressed. I was totally depressed. And one of my buddies who had just went through the whole procedure told me what to expect. He told me how to he kind of held my hand, literally. He held my hand, man. This is what you got to do. Don't worry about this. Don't worry about that. This is going to happen. Tell your wife this is going to happen. You know, expect this right here, but don't give up. Okay, and I did, and that was the thing that motivated me to be what I do what I do right now. Just keep talking to brothers. I've become a guru for my neighborhood. If anybody have any kind of prostate issue, they call me to find out what's going on and what to expect. And I think that's one of the things that we miss here, especially in the Black community. When it comes to our behinds and things down there, we don't talk about that. We always lie about how big it is and what we're gonna do, how long we can last. But when it comes down to the real facts, we don't talk about that part. So
nothing to say.
Trying to break that.
Well, I think that you make a great point there, Alonzo, because I always tell my patients after they're diagnosed, all right, now you got to go do some homework. But sometimes the most important aspect of homework is talk to that uncle, talk to your cousin, talk to your friend who went through it, because you want to ask them, hey, why did you do what you did? Why did you make this choice? And what do you regret? What do you wish you did differently? Because having someone like yourself, Lonzo, holding someone's hand through this process, it's way more valuable than talking to a doctor who oftentimes, you know, we're talking to you in Latin. We're talking in language that doesn't sound like English, talking about scores and Gleason score this and PSA that and survival rates. That goes over your head, especially the first couple of times. But if you hear, okay, my friend from high school, what did he go through? Let me call him up. Let me hit him on Facebook. Let's see what, you know, let me get him on the phone and talk to him about what his day-to-day life was like. That's more valuable than getting a second or third or fourth opinion from a doctor, because a lot of times we're not speaking the same language, and it's hard for us to relate to the patient because we're not in that same position.
Right. And we have to have a barbershop talk. That's all. I call it barbershop talk. Okay.
Right.
We use the language. I'm not going to use this language because this video is going to be forwarded to other people, but we have to have conversation using language that's not going to be suitable for this video right here. But that's what we have to do. We have to have a man talk. Okay. We have to use descriptions that I'm not going to use today. Okay. I'm going to be real good. But first of all, I want to thank everybody in the chat room for stepping in. I see we have about 12 people watching this show right now. And I see a lot of my guys in the chat room, Marlon and Easy Steve, and Derek. I thank all y'all for watching and supporting this. And I don't know how old you guys are, but if you are anywhere near the prostate cancer age, don't be too proud to bend over or even get your PSA checked, man. You know, right. I hate the fact that comedians and television shows, especially Black shows, have made such a big deal out of getting checked from with the digital rectal exam. They made a big deal out of it, and it's, you know, once you've experienced it, it's not like it had nothing to do with your manhood whatsoever. It's slightly uncomfortable, but when you know what women go through to stay healthy, that's no big deal whatsoever. No big deal whatsoever. What is I would presume there's a higher rate of survival with stage 1 and stage 2. Stage 3 is maybe a little bit less or the more, or what do you for your opinion, Doc?
Yeah, so stage 1, stage 2, it's curable, right? When we look at this, if you catch it early, let's just start from the basics. I mean, if you go to see your doctor, you get your PSA, you get the finger in the butt, and they find something early, almost greater than 90% of those guys will be cured of their disease, and they'll live long, happy lives, over 15 years survival rate. Prostate cancer is curable if you catch it early, and it's stuck inside the prostate only. So that should be goal number 1, is early detection. That's why you get a PSA. That's why you go see a doctor once a year. That's why you get the finger in the butt. Now, if it's starting to get a little bit outside the prostate, you're getting stage 2, stage 3, stage 4, then of course, it's not as simple as just, a simple surgery or a little bit of radiation and I'm done. Sometimes then you have to add on different medications, multiple medications, injections, pills. All these kind of things are sometimes necessary to help treat the disease at stage 3 or stage 4. it's not as likely to be curable at stage 3, stage 4, but it is definitely manageable. Unlike other cancers where you see your friends are wasting away to nothing, they lost all their hair, they're throwing their guts out because of all these aggressive chemotherapies. Prostate cancer patients don't look like that usually. They might be a little bit tired, they might, be complaining a little bit, but they don't look like that classic, aggressive cancer patient who looks like they're wasting away to nothing. They can actually be very functional people, maintain jobs and work and be normal people on the therapy. So prostate cancer is a slow moving process that has a lot of unique treatments to it. So even if you're stage 3, stage 4, you can still get some work in.
So could you tell us the various ways to treat prostate cancer aside from having it removed?
Sure. Yeah, so obviously the way you had it, Lonzo, getting it removed, that's been the tried and true for many, many years. We're doing the Da Vinci robot now. About 90% of them, if not more in this country, are Da Vinci robot, 3 or 4 keyhole incisions. You're out the hospital the next day. But you can also do radiation. So our radiation colleagues, I'm a prostate cancer surgeon, but our radiation colleagues, radiation oncologists, they use radiation to treat cancers of the body, whether they be in the head, the neck, or down in the prostate. They use invisible beams of radiation to kill the prostate cancer cells inside the gland. So you don't have to have surgery. But the choice depends on all the other factors: how old you are, what your health risks are, what the stage of your disease is, what's the grade of your disease. So there's a lot of discussion that happens before you make that choice. And the other thing that's important to note, watchful waiting, or what we call active surveillance. Low risk prostate cancer, we are watching it more than ever. So a lot of people are like, well, I don't want to know if I have prostate cancer because then it means I'm going to have to get it taken out. Not true anymore. We're actually watching more prostate cancer more than ever, because some of the very low risk prostate cancers have a very slow growth pattern and will probably not affect you in any way if you just leave it alone. So those are your 3 big treatment options: watching, surgery, radiation.
Now, I chose to have mine removed because cancer runs in my family, and my mother died from cancer. So that was when I first. My sister had cancer, my brother had cancer. So when I detected the small inkling of cancer in my body, I wanted to have it removed so that I can, hopefully avoid any future problems. What is the proton? What is that now? Is it proton therapy or something? That same thing as radiation?
Proton, yeah.
Yeah,
that's a version of radiation. It's
okay.
It requires almost its own building to do proton therapy, but it's a version of radiation that supposedly has less side effects than traditional radiation. But when you get radiation done, it's not like you're walking out of there like the Incredible Hulk, like just exuding
glowing.
It's all invisible. You don't even know it's done. So you go in at your lunch break, you get your radiation, you walk out the door, no one knows anything happened. So proton is supposed to do the same thing except with less side effects. There's not as many proton centers as there are traditional radiation centers around you, though. So it'd be far easier to find traditional radiation center than a proton center.
All right. Cedric, you saying about to say something?
Yeah, I was trying to figure the main thing that we're here. We want to thank the doctor for here, but we're wanting to let the residents and the individuals who are watching to know that on September the 17th at Cal State University Dominguez Hills, we will be doing our 2nd annual prostate cancer walk run. For those who may want to run it from 8 until noon on the campus of Cal State University Dominguez Hills. And we are so pleased and happy to have Providence Little Company of Mary, along with City of Hope, to be our title sponsors for this year's walk. And that we do have Channel 11 KTT Channel 11 with Marla Tejas, who's going to be our MC. And just continuing that same process and having more people come on board to address and getting the word out. I always talk about women have breast cancer awareness, and we have all these different walks for women's health. There is not that many that I know of that are focusing on men's health. And I'm just so glad that we've gotten this off the ground and we're getting this on place. We got bulletin display is putting on the bulletin boards along the 91 freeway, the 405 freeway in the area, just to get the word out. And KGLH on the radio station is just making sure that we get this word out and that we eradicate at the prostate cancer within our lifetime, or hopefully within my grandson's lifetime.
And also, thank KGLH. We are partnering with KGLH as well. I'll be hosting the prostate cancer segment of the KGLH Men's Empowerment Summit Same day, right after the prostate cancer walk, we're going to walk right over to the campus, one of the auditoriums, and have a prostate cancer talk. Hopefully, if Dr. Ahmed is available, he can come by and join us. And if not, maybe he'll send a representative. All good.
Yeah.
Okay.
We will try. I'm going to try my best to be there, or have one of the buddies over there.
September 17th, folks, Cal State Dominguez Hills. We'll start walking about 8 o'clock in the morning, and we'll be walking right over to KGLH. It's only a $25 donation to help raise money for prostate cancer awareness. It was $50. Now it's $25. Thanks to Providence and some other donors, we were able to bring the price down completely, and it's only $25. The cost of parking at any nightclub. Come on out, folks. Walk with us. Have a good time. And we're going to be talking about some men's issues at KGLH Men's Empowerment right after. Come on through. Should be a great day for men's empowerment and prostate cancer awareness. Folks, y'all good?
We're good.
Dr. Ahmed, thank you very much. Cedric, thank you very much, folks. Kent, thank you for keeping us on track. We'll see all y'all shortly. Don't forget, y'all, September 17th, Cal State Dominguez Hills. We started walking about 8 o'clock, only $25 donation. Get a t-shirt, water bottles, the whole 9 yards. Come on out, walk for a worthy cause. Thank you very much, folks. Thank y'all all. I'll see you on the 17th. Thank you for watching. Peace, folks.